What is up, my friends? We do apologise for tonight's late night agenda, but YouTube is having an issue with getting people's comments through. So only a tiny little percentage of those of you that were trying to comment were actually getting their comments through. So what I thought I'd do instead is come on and give you a news update video. We're going to be talking about Emile Heskey's choices as Mohamed Salah's replacement, because let's be honest, you were getting a bit angry at me when you seen that thumbnail, weren't you? But these aren't my words, they aren't my thoughts, they're Mr. Emile Heskey's. We'll also be giving you the very latest on the potential streaming platform for the Premier League and what that could cost each month. It is very, very reasonable if you ask me. We'll give you a bit more clarity on the Florian Wirtz situation. We'll have a little bit on Anthony Gordon as well, but as always, my friends, I want to know your thoughts. So let me know in the comment section, if possible. Do drop a like on the video, and of course don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We are running our giveaway until the end of the month, and we're going to announce the winner of this on Saturday after the West Ham game. So if you haven't already entered, you can win a signed and framed Jurgen Klopp shirt completely free with thanks to our friends at the collectorscorner.co.uk. All you have to do, scan that QR code on the screen. That'll bring you into the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp, where you will see all the information there on how to enter. And don't worry, if you'd like to treat yourself to something from the collectorscorner.co.uk, we got you covered with a unique 20% discount code. Use the phrase Anfield Agenda 1 at checkout. That's Anfield Agenda 1 at checkout to get that discount. Right, I'm going to give you a bit of clarity over the situation with Florian Wirtz. So earlier on, we were speaking about Volker Struth, Florian Wirtz's agent/advisor, according to Bild, said this: in the past, when it came to move to Liverpool or Bayern, I called Xabi Alonso and told him, you have to take the boy from Leverkusen to Real. Xabi replied, you don't have to tell me, you have to tell Florentino Perez. I actually sent him a message, dear Florentino, I've told you several times I have a player here who would highly recommend. Florian Wirtz makes every team better. Goes on to talk about the fact that Madrid hadn't got the money, yada yada. But ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, this guy is not really his representative. He does have some role to play in Florian Wirtz's situation, but Florian Flicks, an account on X, has cleared this up a little bit by saying Wirtz is represented by his family, specifically his father, Hans Wirtz, who serves as his agent and advisor. His parents have managed his career and contractual matters for many years. Struth and Brees are the co-founders of Sports 360 Limited, a leading football agency based in Cologne, Germany, and Struth and his agency have been brought in to assist with Wirtz marketing, sponsorships and commercial deals. However, Breitha is the one that's actually advising Wirtz, so maybe this clown should just keep his mouth shut and stop trying to link Florian Wirtz with a move to Real Madrid or wish away a move from Liverpool, which, let's be honest, he's only just settling into and getting to start his Liverpool career. So I do wish people would keep their mouth shut about wanting players to go to Real Madrid, because it doesn't really help anybody, particularly after Wirtz has only just come in. So Anthony Gordon may have plans to come to Liverpool, but Newcastle don't have any plans to sell him, at least according to TalkSport. They say Newcastle have no plans to cash in on in-form England winger Anthony Gordon, but the player may have other ideas. Now, I know people are split on this one, but like I've said before, there is a sincere high regard for him at Liverpool. Whether it happens or not, that remains to be seen. But the Premier League, they could be about to launch their own Netflix-style streaming platform. Now, we've got to give credit to Simon Jordan on this, and I don't often give him much credit because, well, I don't often agree with Simon Jordan on anything, or very little, shall we say. But on this, he did call it a few years ago, and it's a great show. The Guardian, well, they run a story on it, and they say the idea would allow fans to watch every single match and choose any game that they want, whenever they want. The service, and this is really interesting, could cost around £10 per month, be available in 188 countries, and may also include matches from past seasons to create a full archive. I think this would be an absolute bargain. £10 a month for every Premier League game, whenever you want. I mean, I'm sure that they will go up in tiers, but one thing that immediately screams to me about this is that it could remove or limit some of the illegal streaming that the Premier League are trying to fight against, and also it could make football affordable to people once again. Since the move to Sky, TNT, DAZN, Amazon Prime and many other platforms around the world, football has become very expensive for people. So the Premier League to sell all of the games all of the time to all of their fans for a tenner a month, Do let me know in the comments if you think this is a good idea or not. Personally, I would be all over it. I really keep Sky on just for sport mainly. So for me, it would probably see me saying bye-bye to Sky. But let's be honest, many of us have been looking for reasons to do that for many years. So, former Red striker Emile Heskey contends that the Reds ought to consider Paris Saint-Germain star KVARA Kvaratskhelia, West Ham's Jarrod Bowen, and AC Milan's Christian Pulisic as replacements or successors for Mohamed Salah. Now look, KVARA Kvaratskhelia, I think many of us would say, okay, Emile, no problem, we're with you on that one. Christian Pulisic, I mean, I had to go and check the date of this just to make sure that this wasn't from 3, 4, 5 years ago. I know Pulisic is having a good season at Milan and all, but no, not for me. He is still 27 years of age, which feels quite young. Like, it feels like he's been around for a very, very, very long time. But I would have to say no for me on that one. And Jarrod Bowen, I would have, look, I'd have bitten your arm off for Jarrod Bowen 2, 3 years ago. I would have gone full Luis Suarez there. But for now, I just think, again, Bowen's probably a little bit too old. If West Ham go down, maybe there's a deal to be done there. And if Bowen was to move and Liverpool could get him at a reasonable fee, I wouldn't say no for a year or two. We know what Jarrod Bowen's about. I'm a big fan of his. I think he gives everything out there on the pitch. Has the ability to find the back of the net as well. Always a good battler. Always working really hard for the team. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this one. Obviously, KVARA Kvaratskhelia would probably be the one that we'd all be saying, yeah. Obviously, for me, we talked about Michael Elise in the past. It'd be somebody I'd love to come into Liverpool Football Club. I'd be very surprised if Paris Saint-Germain were open to selling KVARA Kvaratskhelia. But again, these are just the thoughts of Emile Heskey. And while we're speaking about Mr. Emile Heskey, he's also been speaking a little bit about what else he thinks we need. And this is what Emile has had to say. I think Liverpool do need more of a sitting midfielder like Adam Wharton. I do feel that we need options in there, and I think Wharton gives you that really good option in midfield as a 6. He's left-footed, so having somebody in there that can really dominate. He's a fantastic passer of the ball too. That's what you need for Liverpool because you're going to get a lot of the ball. I think Sandro Tonali is probably a little bit too much like what we've already got in Dominic Szoboszlai. And then there's Ryan Gravenberch, who I think is more of a runner with the ball. Obviously, last season he changed to play more of a 6 role. He goes on to say you can probably release him a little bit more if you have Wharton in there. Gravenberch is young and he's got the legs. He can go forward and start stretching things a little bit rather than having a defensive role. Now, I've been thinking quite a lot about this, and I've said to you guys many times, I do think Liverpool have scope to bring in the number 6 and then still be able to release a central midfielder. My thoughts on who that would be are probably most likely either Alexis McAllister or Curtis Jones for different reasons. Curtis Jones, of course, because he only has 1 year to run on his Liverpool contract at the end of this season, and Liverpool have a decision to make there. Do they renew Curtis Jones, or do they look to cash in? Now, we talked about the situation with Alisson Becker as well, and Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy are saying that Juventus are interested in Guillermo Vicario of Spurs, but mainly interested in signing Alisson Becker from Liverpool. Again, Liverpool will have a decision to make there. We know Alisson's contract is up in 2027. So do the Reds look to cash in and get some money for Alisson, or are they happy to maybe wave goodbye and let Alisson go on a free? For me, I don't want him to go. I'd be really worried if he did go this summer, but knowing the club and knowing the fact that, you know, pound notes are pound notes, maybe they would look to get in a fee. I'm just not at the point, ladies and gentlemen, where I'm confident that Georgi Mamardashvili is definitely the heir to the throne. I'm confident that he's a good goalkeeper, but I don't think we've really seen enough of him in a Liverpool shirt to make a definitive conclusion as to whether he is good enough to go. Of course, we have Jaros as well, who's on loan at Ajax. On top of that, we've young Armin Petchy, who could come in as the backup. So let me know your thoughts on this. And as well, Joe Gomez. Liverpool apparently, according to reports, feel that this is their last chance to get a decent transfer fee for Joe. So we probably end up seeing Joe sold this summer as well. So we've gone through quite a lot here, ladies and gentlemen, over the last few minutes. And we touched on a few things earlier on today as well. Jayden Danns is an example. He's back training with the under-21s. So hopefully Jayden can get a proper pre-season in, finish the season strongly with the 21s, and then get into the manager's plans for next season. We also spoke about financial blogger Swiss Ramble, saying that Manchester City and Liverpool have made £84 million each so far this season. Arsenal have made £83 million, Chelsea £80 million, and Spurs £73 million. Of course, by the time you guys are watching this video, you will know the winner of the tie between Galatasaray and Juventus. Atletico Madrid, the other potential opponents for the Reds, that draw will be made on Friday, and Connor will be here streaming the draw live for you guys as well. So I will see you guys back live Friday night. We'll have the preview coming out for the West Ham game tomorrow. Apologies again about the YouTube issues tonight. It was beyond our control. But thank you all once again for your continued support, and we'll see you soon. Much love. Bye-bye.